My brother John had introduced me to Bitcoin in 2011, back when Gavin Andreessen had a thing called the Bitcoin faucet, and they were giving away free Bitcoins. Like, it was so unknown and like so few people knew about it that all you had to do is just log into Bitcoin faucet and get free Bitcoins. And I have a libertarian streak, so when I read about it, I was like, oh, this is great. I hope it happens, but I didn't actually do anything. And then I went in for a coffee with Pete and Mike and a couple of their colleagues. And the coffee lasted like 5 hours because it was just so mind blowing. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And they offered me space in their office to, start working on it. And they finally kicked me out about 8 years later. Like, we stayed in Fortress's office for ages. And literally since that day, that was like March 12th, 2013, I haven't thought about any other investing. It's just so captivating.
You guys had a piece the other day on kind of phase 2 of the bull cycle. And, you kind of talk about this known idea, which is Bitcoin tends to lead the cycles. Then we kind of start to rotate, maybe rotate into the majors. We saw the rotation to ETH. Now we're having a big rotation to Sol, obviously, which I want to get into Sol and the DAT in a second. But how do you think maybe phase 2 of this bull market looks like?
Yeah, so that is our view that historically Bitcoin's led for the first half of a rally, and then the other currencies catch up. And you're right, Bitcoin's dominance did peak, 6-8 weeks ago. And Ethereum had a huge run. Now Solana's having a run. I would say I am surprised that kind of a broader mix of altcoins hasn't performed as well. Theoretically, the change in the SEC should be positive for things that are not Bitcoin, right? Because, Bitcoin kind of had a safe haven in the previous administration, whereas even things like XRP were being, criticized by the SEC. So I would say that I would think that other currencies would start to perform well, but they really haven't. It's really just been the big 3 currencies.
Yeah. I would love to hear your thesis for Solana, Dan.
Yeah. So I guess the way to think about it is on almost every metric, it leads all the other currencies in terms of daily active users, revenues. So it is actually very practical. People are using it for a ton of commerce. Massive throughput, whereas the 2 older chains, do only a few transactions per second and then require L2s and other, hoops to jump through. And then over the last year or so, we've been increasing our conviction, and it's now our largest position.
Solana is now your largest position.
Yeah, so we have
more than Bitcoin.
Yeah, so we have 1.3 billion of Solana, because we think it is very attractive. And one of the reasons,
what is that compared to your Bitcoin versus ETH? I'm curious. So Bitcoin's like $1 billion.
Yeah, so we have a similar amounts of Solana and Bitcoin, and then our ETH exposure right now is pretty small. We're very convicted on Solana, and frankly, hey, it's 5% of the price of the market cap of Bitcoin, right? So it seems like it could outperform over time.